have special guest, Bernadette Bentley. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello.
So we have a special drink that we're drinking today. Chris, why don't you announce it because it's a special occasion.
My mother's birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. And she watches this show, not live, but she watches it later when she can. And this is Drambuie, which is our drink that we drink together, usually after a celebration with the rest of the family at night when everything is said and done. And we're drinking it out of my great aunt's little cordial glasses.
Fancy.
So happy birthday,
cheers.
Mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Woo.
Happy weekend rager. Clinks.
Clinks.
Clinks. All right. Cheers. Oh, that's nice. I'm getting picky about this framing. I'm just gonna shift a little bit more.
I got it.
I was like, help a girl
I'll just hold
out.
it.
All right, cool.
I can't.
All right, so as you might have seen from our Facebook post, what we want to nerd rage about today.
Yeah, you're live on your page, not ours.
Oh shit.
That's why I was like, I can't find the video, guys.
So for everybody on YouTube,
Just kidding.
Just
BRB.
kidding.
That's why I wasn't clinking. I was like, I don't
Switch
think
over
we're
to
on our page.
GeekChic Promotions. We'll see you
happening on
soon.
YouTube.
Yeah.
The two of you are watching.
What up, YouTube? I was like, I don't think we're on our
So
page.
YouTube, if you don't know why I'm wearing this, it's because I got rear-ended last Friday, and I'm obviously still on a lot of pain drugs. So sorry about that. I'm just gonna delete it off my page.
Well, I'm going over to YouTube.
you know, this
This
would
would
not
be
be our
YouTube.
show though if something like this.
We
I know,
didn't have
I know.
something like-
I feel like it's a theme
It's
for
a
us.
total
See,
theme.
I'm here now, though. And last week you were like, whatever, Beth isn't here. We don't know technology.
Well,
Now I'm here.
We have
Well,
to
you
blame
were
it on
legit the
something.
reason that we were able to fix it, so.
I'm like, I
Yes.
don't think this is
We
ours,
would have been
guys.
doing this on Ruthan's page the entire time.
Yep.
If you hadn't said something, 'cause that's
It's
what
alright.
we do. It's
YouTube.
fine,
Yeah,
man.
Hey, well, we love you all.
Oh, fuck. I'm on the wrong.
Oh,
We have
it's
too
so
many,
much fun.
So are we gonna go through that whole toast again?
I don't know. All right. Well, if you want your mom to see it.
Yeah.
It's true. We do.
Oh, wait, then.
Okay.
Can I pass?
I don't know where I put mine. Okay, put it here.
Can I
Oh, we're back! Well, actually, we just arrived.
All right. Now it says GeekChic
Hello.
Promotions is live.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome
Okay.
back. We have the whole Geek Chic crew back, and we also have the awesome Bernadette Bentley.
Yay!
There we are.
We are drinking something very special today, and I'll let Chris take it
Yes.
over because it's a special occasion for her.
Take two.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Drambuie, and it is a favorite drink of me and my mother's, and it's my mom's birthday today. So we are toasting a happy birthday to my mom, who will be watching this, and it is out of my great aunt's cordial glasses. So it's a whole thing
Cause we fancy.
Pinky's
from
up.
my mom.
It's happy birthday,
Happy
Mom.
birthday, Mom.
Happy
You
birthday.
guys have to come to me because I
Yep,
can't see
done.
you. Thank
Cheers.
Mm.
you. Ooh, it's sweet.
Delicious.
Again, this framing is gonna make me mad.
It is sweet.
All right.
Okay.
Woman, sit
All right.
down.
So I know. If y'all don't know, didn't see through all our Facebook things, I apologize for this giant scarf, and I might be a little loopy. I got rear-ended on Friday before Anime Los Angeles, so I'm wearing a neck brace and on a lot of pain meds. So
Yes. Honestly, you couldn't even tell. It just looks like your scarf.
Oh
is
yeah,
so
it's very, and
fabulous.
I'm just moving like a Muppet, like Batman.
Well, yes.
To doing this.
You just have really good posture.
Yes, really good. But it gave us the idea while we were at ALA, which was a super fun show, it gave us the idea of what we want to rage about this week, which is con etiquette.
Yes.
And there's a lot to talk about. So, Chris,
We all
I will let
have
you start.
opinions. Okay, well, let's just take this section by section because we're going to cover con etiquette for attendees. We're going to cover con etiquette for the guests invited to the shows and con etiquette
I'm on
for
both.
the showrunners of how they can treat their guests.
This one, sure.
And so let's get started, I say, with attendees because
Attendees,
you know,
yeah.
let's see who's going to be watching right now. So we'll start
Yes.
with you guys before we move into the others.
And
We're just
obviously-
gonna just
I'm
fucking
really
shame all
happy
of you.
with
That's
that.
Yeah,
what it
well,
is.
no, and
Yeah.
obviously
We're
you
gonna
guys-
start by shaming all of you.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because can I just
I
say,
am.
how about you take a shower before you go and put on some deodorant, extra deodorant.
Okay, you say that, but like 5 minutes ago we made a joke about how someone in the room was like, I showered for this, and I was like, I didn't.
Shower before going to a convention, please, as a courtesy. And also, if you're gonna fart elsewhere. because I don't want to walk into a fart cloud as soon as I walk
Silent
into a
but
convention.
deadly. That's so fun when you're in costume. You can't
A
really go
lot of
anywhere, and you have to
people.
pose. You need to pose for a picture, and you're like,
Like, please, just common courtesy. Take a shower, put on deodorant, don't fart in a crowd.
even if you think it isn't you, shower anyway.
Yeah. Shower anyway. Even if you're like, I'm
Poor
not that
favor.
person, just do it.
Yeah.
And breath mints.
Yes.
Always pop in some breath mints. Have that on you. So that's my initial,
It's universal.
like blanket covering statement for attendees.
I will say though, like deodorant is also needed and a must, but
Mhm.
sometimes people douse themselves in too much cologne or
Oh
perfume.
my gosh, yeah.
So like, don't go to the extreme. Like, just do an average, happy, medium, normal.
Yeah, you
I'm out.
can't smell it. Chances are other people can.
Well,
So.
yeah, and we get it. It can get hot in cons and all that kind of stuff, but everybody needs to pull it together.
Yeah.
Just get, what was it that Chris said to me one year? Shit, together, get it. But also, so everybody can rage about this,
Take all
though,
your shit,
I
put it
believe.
in a backpack,
Also,
get it together.
the proper etiquette of all of us, because I go to cons too, of everybody, how to walk down aisles. Good God, Lemon. There's obviously like lane, like get in the right lane. Don't
Like
stop.
driving.
Yeah.
Stop.
Don't stop for a call for anything. And also, if you
If
have
you're gonna stop
posters,
and look at a table, move over
yeah,
to the
move over to the table.
Don't just hover. Actually, this is a little bit of a convergence of them. So also, I work at a table a lot. I've worked at a lot of tables. Standing in the middle of the aisle and hovering and looking at the table from a distance is not any less rude
No.
than coming up. Actually, in fact, it's more rude than I would rather you just come up, look at the stuff, and just say thank you. Don't
Yeah.
say, oh, I'll be back, or oh, I'll buy it later. Like, no, you won't. It's okay.
No one cares. We all know.
It's
Yeah.
okay if you're not going to buy
Yeah.
it. Like, as long as you don't come up and wreck the stuff on the table, it's more rude to everybody else in the convention and to the exhibitor for you to just, like, hover and look from a distance. Like,
Well, and also like
I don't
think-
want to touch it because I'm not going to pay. It's fine.
I think vendors are gonna like you said, they're gonna be more okay if you just come up, see it, move on. Whereas opposed like you won't necessarily be remembered that way.
Yeah.
But you will be remembered kind of as the jerk who like caused a ruckus or something.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
being like, oh, I'm gonna look,
A
but I don't want to come.
congestion.
I will not.
Uh-huh.
I will not enter that premises of that table.
Yeah.
And I
I'm gonna
think
stay
it's
away.
also, one of those things where, like, there's gonna be strollers, which is fine. Like, everyone's, like, it's annoying, but, like, people bring in their kids. They can't afford a babysitter if they want to go. It's fine. Strollers are fine. But if you are, like, in a stroller and you're piling all your crap in there and you're doing all this stuff, you need to be aware of what, like, landscaping your stroller is taking up. Like,
Yeah.
you can't use it
just
to
be
plow
aware.
through people.
Yeah, don't use it as a
don't
privilege.
do
Do you know what I
that.
mean?
Right.
Exactly.
And
Just-
also, if you buy posters, don't put them in your bag so it's going this way. You know what I mean? You know who I'm
Oh
talking
my
about, right?
goodness,
So like you're getting
yes.
smacked. And if you have a big backpack, be aware you have a big backpack.
Oh my
don't
God.
like
Don't like
swing
just
around.
whoop,
Yeah.
like and hit everybody behind you
Yeah.
who's like crowded up,
And in the same token, cosplayers that have big, like, I'm sorry, don't walk the floor if you have your big stuff on. Like, I get it if you need to get to a panel or a certain booth
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff, but like,
Or be aware that like you can't go anywhere in a hurry. Like I know, like when I wore the ball gown, I was like, it's gonna take me an hour to go 20 feet, and you have somebody there being like, big load coming through, and you're just like, yeah, I have a ball gown,
Yeah.
because it's crazy, and I don't know if I'm ever doing it again. But like, yeah, you're a very much aware. Like you're not a tiny person anymore. You're not like, yeah, you can't just zip through the crowd. It
Yeah.
takes a minute. And, be aware that people, and even though you're in a big costume,
Yeah.
like, not everyone's going to see you, ironically.
yeah, and don't act like it's everybody else's
Right.
fault if they run into you. You know what I mean? Like, it's
and-
it's not their fault. You have
Yeah.
either a big sword, you have a big dress, you have a
right.
big armor build, whatever. So that kind of
With
translates to us. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just gonna have another. This is for people with kids. Yes, the strollers is a thing, but and it's a thing where I don't want to be like, oh, like. But a lot of times people aren't looking down.
Mm-hmm.
So just try and have
Don't
a
talk
conversation
looking
with your kids
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Have a conversation with your kids about looking. We obviously the last thing any of us wants is a kid to get separated from their parent at a convention. Tell them that it's important to keep you know, close to you, and that somebody may not necessarily see you, because a lot of people aren't looking down at conventions. They're looking at the tables, they're looking up, and if someone's only coming, I've run into a kid before just because, like, they only come up to here and I just didn't see them.
I love that they all have flags, like, on their little backpack. Like, on their leash backpack also have, like, a little flag coming up.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying you need to, like, have your kid attached to you, but, like, talk to your kid about what being in a large crowd is like, because the last thing any of us ever want is a kid to get separated from their parent at a convention.
I mean, if they're under 5, insanity. They aren't making memories. Keep at home.
Nope.
I don't know what's going on.
I agree with that, but I also
understand.
I'm trying to be understanding.
So, mentioning, you know, when you're in cosplay and costumes, that kind of stuff, let's transition into the cosplay side of proper etiquette at cons.
I think one of the biggest things for me is that, like, when someone, always ask for a photo. First off, let me start with that. Always ask the cosplayer for a photo, because you never know what level they are, if they're comfortable yet or not comfortable. Like, I know people who dress up and they're like, I'm not comfortable taking photos yet. And because they're brand new and they don't really know or understand. So it's always polite to ask first, and be okay if they say no.
I only cosplayed once because I immediately was like, I don't like this many people talking to me. I can't do it.
It's a lot of attention. And, like, so people like myself who get, like, a high off of it, it's great. But then, like, there comes a point at the end of the day where you're done and you just want to go home, and people keep, like,
or
keep
asking
resting.
For... Like, I see people all the time trying to take pictures of cosplayers that they're either sitting for a rest or sitting eating. It's like, there's still people, have some respect.
I had somebody at Comic-Con, like, Kathy and I, we cosplay Xena and Gabrielle, and we were taking a break, we were eating, we'd been on our feet all day, we weren't even sitting down. We were just eating one of those, like, pretzels, and some guy taps me on the shoulder and, like, asked me for a photo. I was like, I'm so sorry, like, we're taking a break. If you stick around, I'll be done in about 5 minutes. And
did he give you tood?
He was like, oh, fine. I go online later, and the jerk had taken a photo of my back of me eating a pretzel and being like, this girl wouldn't let me take her photo, and, like, was, like, kind of rude about it. And I was like, dude, I told you, if you waited 5 minutes, I would have been done.
Entitlement. I'm like, I didn't have this for you, bro.
I can't find it, but I saw a really good comic once of somebody who was just, it was like a comic of her, like, taking off all her pieces of armor, sitting down about to take a bite of a burger, and then someone being like, can I take a picture? And her being like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I've been at my table, and I've, like, looked at somebody looking at my stuff, and I go to sit down, and I swear, the second my bum hits the chair, he's like, can I take a photo of you? Why? Why? and I was like, no.
No.
Like,
oh my God, no.
I'll be up in a minute.
Please.
Let's see. Oh, another one. Okay, so when someone politely asks for you to take a photo, you know, the cosplayers, you know, either posing, like, you know, however they want. One of my is when someone from behind me then asks, oh, can I have a photo? And I'm like, why don't you just come around to where I'm already looking and then say, take a photo, or then ask again, can I take a photo?
I actually do have a question, because it's something that I do, and I want to know if this is rude, because I always feel uncomfortable, or I feel weird asking people if I can take a picture. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But one thing I do, if they're already posing for somebody else, is it bad for me to just come up and be like, click?
If it's, I don't want to say a commoner person, but if it's a non-professional photographer, you're fine.
Okay, that's what I thought
in my own personal opinion, I will not speak for everybody, but in general, I find that easier, because you already know that you're posing for somebody, and it's just easier to turn ever so slightly to the next person, or just move your eyes, as opposed to, like, turning around to another.
Yeah, but obviously, if they're set up and, like, there's professional stuff, I won't be come over. Like, I have that much respect, but I was just wondering if it's a situation where somebody else is already taking their cell phone.
Though, of course, it is probably too polite to say, hey, can I take one too? Just can you look over here?
There's usually, like, you make eye contact and, like, a me too, and it's,
cool.
Or, like, may I, and...
Because you'll see that a lot, I feel like, in lobbies. Somebody will be like, I'm standing here, you guys can all take a picture right now, and it's fine.
Not rude at all. In my book,
And obviously, if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have other things that you get you really frustrated for con etiquette, please comment below. We'll
address it.
But then, all right, should we move on to the professional side, or how about running booths? The etiquette of booths that make me crazy.
There's stuff on both sides. So, like I was saying, a lot of it is like con attendees. There's a lot of stuff that people who are attendees that do to you at booths, which drives me crazy. Like one is like, don't if you have, and I'm the person who often will have a coffee in my hand. do not put your food, your drink, or anything on a table if you have not asked.
Yeah.
If I have a coffee, I will often say, like, can I put this down, or could you hold it?
Right.
Because I really want to look through your book.
Yeah.
You know, I do not just put your coffee down on someone's books or on their table. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
oh my god, like,
that.
please, always, if you have food or you have an item that you need to put down because you would like to honestly look through their product, they're not going to be like, no, fuck you. A lot of times people will even be like, oh, I really prefer if you didn't put it down, but I will be happy to hold it for you for a minute so you can go through it. Like, and so...
Well, so, and another thing is, like, just have the proper etiquette of knowing if you are just small talking and chatting, that's fine, but keep an eye, like, just be aware of the people around you. Because,
that are
like,
maybe going to try to buy something.
Yeah, because when you're running a booth...
block the table.
Yeah, when you're running a booth, you're trying to make money. You're trying to sell, or you're trying to promote something. If somebody has questions or want to buy something, you definitely want to address that. Of course, I love when people visited me. Like, all throughout ALA, people came to visit us at the Comic-Con Revolution booth, and it was great. So there was times that I could totally just small chat with people forever, but then when somebody came up and had questions, I kind of need to be like, oh, sorry, 1 second. Yes, like, but there's some people that we've nicknamed barnacles that just stay.
Yes.
Don't move, and like they
they're just want to hang out with you.
They
all
don't
day
pick
long.
up on the social cue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I have a job to do. Like, it's cool talking with you, and I love fans and all that kind of stuff, but like all that. And hello, Neil from the DC area.
That's
hello.
my dad. I started laughing a minute ago. That's because I saw my dad. Hi, Dad.
And another one is, and I guess this is less people. This is a thing that doesn't seem that offensive, but it can be.
That's so cute.
It can be. Don't come up and ask me where one of my competitors' booths are.
What? Yes.
There are people that come up and they'll be like,
do that all the time.
They'll come up and be like, oh, do you know where other publisher? Like, do you know where this other publisher's booth is?
Rude.
And I was like, okay, one, they're a competitor. Two, I know where the exit, the bathroom, and my booth is. I don't know where anybody else's
not
booth is.
as
Go get a
shows
fucking.
for.
That's what you have
That's
a
what
guide
convention
for.
staff members are for,
Not
and
other
what program
booths.
guides are for.
Yeah.
Do not
Like
ask
it's different if you
directions or
see
anything
that
like
I
that.
have
It's
a program guide and you don't have one, and you come up and politely say, "Hey, I'm really lost. Can I look at your program guide?" That is different because again, it's like a common courtesy thing. If you want to ask to look through my guide and you do it politely because you see that I have it out, that's fine. Don't come up and ask me where something is and expect I'm gonna like look it up for you. No.
Yeah. No.
Like seriously, I do. I know where my booth, the bathroom, and the exit is. I have about 20 minutes to go get lunch, and that's it. I have not walked around.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
But also just the gall to ask you.
Also the gall about it. Yeah. Like
it's interesting for like obviously something like competing with what you're selling. Like I know like if I have a table at a con or whatever, sometimes people ask me, oh, do you know where this other cosplayer's booth is? But usually it's after they've talked to me for a little bit, not just like straight up coming up, oh, do you know where this person is?
Yeah, hey. Like
and like that I feel is a little bit different, but I cannot believe that people do that.
No, they do that all
I mean,
the
I
time.
should because some people are awful, but most of the time they're nice.
Yeah, Brandon says, but I always ask Marvel where the DC booth is. That's just kind of funny.
That is funny.
But you,
sure you're
you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure they find it funny.
I bet they probably
Aren't they,
get
like,
it all the
right
time.
across from each other usually?
Yeah, they usually are.
Like,
They're super. I mean, especially in San Diego.
That's
and all
when you
that
can
kind
look
of stuff.
up and see like Marvel, DC. They probably just point up.
Yeah, but sometimes it's a lot less rude just to ask some questions. You know what I mean? Instead of like just getting in a line or something like that, being like, "Hey, is this for that or whatever?"
Yeah.
I feel like that's fine. Honestly.
It's shocking to me, like, how often where I'll see a big line and I'll just be like, oh, what is this for? Or is this for this? And they're like, well, I don't know. And I was like, you are a brave person to just be standing in this line.
And
I don't know.
what
And, like, not sure. Like, I'm that type of, I guess because I'm more of an extrovert that I just walk up and, like, I follow all the way to the front. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Are we at the right spot? But, yeah.
Actually, I can't imagine like just waiting. I'm like, what are you waiting for? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, no,
I can't
it's
even
true.
comprehend that.
So, as you may or may not know, GeekChic Promotions also works with conventions, with guest relations, booking guests, as well as doing the programming and creating panels for different conventions. So, we've had our own frustrating stuff in that world. Chris, why don't you headline that?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is these are not the views of all. These are the views of us. So don't
Nor are they specifically the views of any convention we've ever worked.
This is not
These
specific.
are all our
very general.
similar to when Chris and I went through our like editorial ones. These are all our personal pet peeves.
Yes.
So I just want to say that, like, don't attribute this to any shows that we're working with, please, like,
Yeah.
just get that out there.
This is just our personal pet peeves of things that we've experienced.
Yeah, it's like
In
over
our
the course
lives.
of 10 years, you know, this is what we're gathering.
Yeah.
So for guests, if you are a guest at the show, and let's just say you are being given an Artist Alley table, and if you're not local, a flight, and a hotel, which you will get if you're local because, you know, it's a 2-day show or whatever, even if it's a 1-day show and you got to come in, you know, a day ahead of time to set up. All of that stuff. It is, I feel, in my opinion, the basic responsibility to at least do one panel for that show if they're paying for everything. If you're stepping foot onto that show floor and you've already broken even, the least you can do is do one panel for that show.
And then also show up to that panel on time.
Show up to that panel on time.
Oh, show up to your booth on time, too.
Like,
That'd be great.
and this is just for, like...
I have people that are just like, oh, if a volunteer doesn't come get me and escort me there, I can't figure it out.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, there's
like,
that. That's
if you
a whole
do
nother
need that,
thing.
like, some people need that.
thing.
Some people do need that.
But,
Some people need actual assistance, but, like, if it's
But
just
then
that
have
you
that-
can't be bothered to remember that you agreed to do a
And
panel,
put it in your
that's
calendar.
different.
Put it in your, and we send, like, things out that you can
Or if
print
like
out and
that,
keep
you know,
with
if,
you.
if
You know,
that's
it's on your
arranged
cell
ahead of
phone.
time too, to be like, okay,
You can
I'm not
arrange
gonna
that
know where
ahead of
anything is. Like,
However,
you just come
like
get me,
I
let me
feel
know.
like when I get emails back saying that you don't do panels and you've been invited as a guest of the show, like that's a pet peeve of mine. Where I'm just like, who do you think you are? Like literally, like I'm sorry, are we doing you a favor?
Like, and
Yeah.
of course, there are people that have legitimate reasons. And if you want to write to us and say, hey, I have someone, especially nowadays, there are people that, like, I know at ECCC, which is coming up, like, people are making lists and seeing, like, where safe tables are. We do have a very serious harassment problem going on in the community right now. There are people that I know will say, hey, I have someone following me, I don't want to do a panel.
Absolutely, but this is
That is
that's
different.
the showrunner part.
Yeah.
That's the showrunner part,
Yeah.
which we'll get to. We will get to that.
Yeah.
However, as like guests that are coming, I feel like as your obligation to the show, if you're being paid for, you should at least do one panel and figure out a way to make it
specify
happen.
like what you're comfortable
Just say,
talking
hey,
about.
this
Like,
is what I would like to do. If you
Yeah.
have anything on this, I'd be happy to. I get that all the time, and I love it.
Like,
I don't
these
want
are
to
the
have to
topics I
find
can talk
something
about.
for someone
Yeah.
to do. I would rather you be like, these are the people I like. I know they're coming to the show. If I can be on a panel with them, that's awesome. I'd be happy to moderate. I don't want to be actually on the panel, but like I could totally talk about these subjects. Like that's totally great.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a detriment to yourself and the fans for you not to do the panel.
Right.
Because, like,
They
so
wanna
let's
see
say
you.
they want to see you, and they want to specifically see you talk about the subject that you are, you know, most
Knowledgeable,
knowledgeable
yeah,
of.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, it's good for you because then you get to promote yourself more to people that maybe not know you, because maybe somebody came to listen to another panelist speak, and then they get to hear you speak, and they're like, oh wow, I really love what he has to say. Like, I
Now I'm
want
a
to,
fan.
like, yeah, I want to go, and you can promote your booth or your table or whatever you have at that point. Like, and it's just like you said, it's just laziness, and just like, then what are you doing at a Comic-Con show?
Why are you taking advantage of getting the free table and the room and the everything else if you're not gonna like kind of give back? Like that's my thing. It's like this is not like we're not like we want you to be at the show to attract attendees, like obviously, but I feel like in return, like that's what you can do. Like, and if you're not promoting it on social media, if you're not telling everybody that you're gonna be there, why not? Why aren't you doing that? Because that's why you were invited, to get attendees to come to the show to see you.
Again, it's a detriment to you because then you're not going to make money. Nobody's going to know where you are or come to your booth.
And and that leads us to like number 2, which is what Ruth Ann's going to get really enraged about, is when we are inviting guests to shows, why can't we find you?
Oh
my God!
Flipping
Why isn't
Lord.
your information on a website, on Twitter, on anything?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, we
Especially
cannot figure out what
artists, writers, like especially in the comic
What are you
industry.
working on, for crying out loud? What are you working on?
How is it that when I search you, I can't find you on the internet? Like, how do you make money? How do you find
off the
clients?
grid?
Like, how do you think to sell anything?
How can I contact you to get you to come to my
And
show?
I'm not saying it's like 1 or 2 people.
Platforms.
I'm gonna say it's 97% of the like comic book artists, writers, editor, all of them. I cannot find you.
Here's what we need to know. Number 1, where do you live? Because whatever show I'm inviting guests for, I want to find local people. Where do you live?
Hi, Eddie. We're complaining about con people.
Oh yes, we're talking about con
Eddie
etiquette.
just joined.
Oh yes,
So I'm sure he has opinions.
Yeah, so we're talking about con etiquette right now. We're focusing on like the professional side of the guests. Go on.
So I feel like I need to know where you live. So that's usually what I go to
and
Twitter
not like your
for.
address,
city.
but just
City.
like
Twitter.
city, state,
Yeah.
Twitter
something.
usually states where you're blasting from,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
thank God. But I also
Blasting
need
from.
to know what you're currently working on.
God.
So it's like if you're like, I write comics. Now I'm gonna have to Google what comics you're on.
Oh my god.
Oh my God! Like, can't you just say what you're currently working on? How hard is that?
And also,
It's real easy to build a website nowadays, guys. Like, you can
hard.
literally build a website. If you don't want to do a whole thing, you could literally build a website that's one page
Like,
that
I
just
get
says,
you
like,
want to be clever.
here's a contact
but,
form.
Oh my God!
Right.
If you want me at your show, please contact
I'm sorry,
me.
but like
oh
the
my
people
God.
with the clever little crap on Twitter to describe what they do, I'm like, great. Now I'm gonna have to go all over the place to
Yeah.
find out what the hell you're on and what you're doing. Like, even if you're like actually famous,
yeah.
I'm like, but I still don't know what you're currently working
Yeah, so
on.
Patrick, like, yeah, we understand that, like, as a person, I like to stay private, but as a professional,
As
if
a
you want,
professional,
If you
I'm
want to
not
get booked on
advertising your
shows, we
work.
need
Yeah.
to know what you're
or
doing.
even sell your artwork, like,
Yeah.
how do you get?
How are you getting work? How are people
Yeah.
contacting you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it drives me crazy when I'm looking for an artist and I see someone that they're like, oh, I'm available for commission, and then they don't have their fucking email anywhere. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't hire you if I can't contact you.
I don't even care if it's a contact form on a webpage.
That's
Just
what I'm
have
saying.
something.
Like, just
Yeah.
have something.
Just have
You could
something.
literally make
Yeah.
a website that is just a contact form on a webpage and
Yeah.
just say, like, here's how you contact me if you're interested in having me at your show or hiring
Absolutely.
me. Like, that's it. That's all I need.
And now, should we even get into like panel proposals that get sent to us? Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay, but I
Okay.
feel like that's a thing that's not just panel proposals. I feel like that's a larger thing about anybody who's pitching anything.
Yes.
That could come across for comic pitches, for TV. Anybody who decides to
We're
pitch something.
specifically
But
talking
we're
about
focused
cons.
on cons.
Yeah, but I'm
Let's
just saying
talk
there are
about-
some insane pitches in everything.
If you want to just say like, and we're fine. It doesn't. You don't have to be professional to propose a panel. Like we prefer like, and all right. So here's
it's
problem.
nice to get different ones.
Yeah.
We do get the same panels at every con,
Over
and
and
like
over and
something at
over.
GeekChic that we are very proud of is that we make sure that we don't. It's not a cookie cutter every single time.
Yes.
And like, no offense.
I'm
There
already
is
gonna say
every-
that taken.
Yeah.
She's like bracing. Like, what are you about to say?
The cosplay 101 panel.
Cosplay 101. Stop.
We've done it. Don't.
Call it something else.
Oh.
I don't even care.
No, yeah, literally
Just
call it
call
something
it
else.
something else. I'm
Though
so.
I'm
sick
not
of it.
offended.
Also,
Yeah.
we didn't use the words, but Brandon did bring it up, and he's correct. He says the only etiquette he knows is cosplay is not consent, and that is true.
Yes.
That's-
We'll
yes.
talk about that again.
Yeah, we'll go back to because yeah,
Yeah,
there's more stuff
we'll go
talk
back
about
to
the
that.
cosplay
Yes.
Ooh, I
yeah,
have a
as
few
well.
things to say.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that as
But
well.
back to the suggesting a panel. So luckily, like with the cons that we work with, there's usually a form that you fill out and you say this description, whatever. Don't suggest a panel if you don't have a description, a
Or
title,
panelists.
or panelists.
Don't make
We
us
legit-
find your panelists.
Be like,
We
this is what I
legit
want
get
to talk
people-
about, but let me
Yeah.
not. You find other people to be on it. That's crazy.
Or even worse, we do get people who are just like, hey, I want to do a panel. Period.
It's
Cool.
We do. We
Glad
do
you
get
want to
that.
be on a panel.
Like,
fucking
do you
do
have
something.
any ideas? Yeah, we have this idea. Who do you have people?
Elaborate.
Well, no, I feel like these people would be good. That's nice. How about you organize it your GD self? Like,
And propose it.
Yeah,
like an
and
actual
propose it.
panel proposal. Because we put together panels, by the way.
yeah, we do.
We create it
Like,
from our
of course
guest
we
list.
do, but that's
Yeah.
different.
We create it from our guest list from scratch, and that's the original programming that we come up with
Yeah.
with our guest list. However, that's us doing it for the show, not for you.
I do understand
wanna pay us?
if you see
We'll
that there's
do
a
it.
certain guest on there and be like, hey, I would really like to do this panel with this person, but I don't
I
don't
don't
know
know the
them.
contact information.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
whatever.
That's fantastic. That's
That's
fine.
fine.
And then we
Like,
can
yeah.
propose a thing, and that's
yeah,
different.
exactly. But
But also, I've gotten things where like, oh, guess what? I can put a whole entire panel together with, and then they name all of the famous people on our guest list.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, look, oh, they're not on our guest list. They're just like these famous
oh
people.
yeah.
And I'm like,
and then
okay,
we're
do
supposed
you
to
like,
invite them to the
yeah, and they're like, oh, and here's their agent's email address. Well, if you have the agent's email address, email them your damn
Maybe,
self.
yeah.
Put together your damn panel and then propose it.
I love how specific we're raging about stuff. And again, if you guys have stuff to rage about con etiquette, please go ahead. Let's come back to
Yes, we can go
cosplay
all
is
day on
consent
this.
because that
Yes,
is a
let's
really
figure
good
that
trial.
out.
We kind of talked about it a little bit when it just came to
the
taking
asking,
pictures,
Yeah.
but continue.
So and like it's okay for a cosplayer to say no. Just FYI, on anything, whether it be asking for a photo, you can say no, whether it be like
for a human to say no to anything.
Yes. So the whole cosplay is not consent movement like started because there was like almost like a tidal wave of women dressing in what they felt comfortable but provocative costumes, and men, generally men, I'm not gonna say always men, generally men crossing the line and touching inappropriately, or grabbing, or like just because the girl has like her booty out does not mean for you that it's like it is for you. Like, so like I appreciate that movement. Like when it started, it was great. Like I remember like I think someone started it at WonderCon, and I remember like writing on a whiteboard something about like my character, like, don't touch her, I'll kick your ass. Like, because I was dressed as but yeah, it's just with this whole movement. But I think also it goes beyond, like, cosplay is not consent. I think is very much aware of like the inappropriate touching when it comes to taking a photo or just having a conversation or whatever. But I think a general thing that needs to be addressed is that like social cues on that cosplayer is not there for your time completely and just for you. Like they are also there to enjoy the con. They're also there to meet friends. And so a lot of times like you want to talk to your fans or people that come up and want to say like, oh my gosh, you look great in your costume, which is, please keep doing that because cosplayers really do appreciate that. But then like understand like sometimes you can have a small light conversation but then move on, because sometimes you get like cosplayers get don't be a barnacle, don't get trapped in it, because like I know sometimes I've had to like you really turn it on when you're uncomfortable because you're like, I don't know if this person could turn on me. So you're trying to be polite and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go, and they're like, okay, I'll walk with you, and you're like,
that fear smile.
And that goes actually for the whole thing that we were talking, that Beth had brought up about like women who feel uncomfortable now going to conventions because there's harassment going on, and that goes for professionals as well as cosplayers. And now that we're having safe spaces that are being marked, tables of like, you can come to me if you feel unsafe or if you're being harassed.
There are people that are being specifically targeted and followed.
Being targeted and followed, yes. And I feel that's where show organizers step in. Which
can I make a statement here? And I'm sorry, you guys don't have Comic Skate is not a thing. You're idiots. It's not a thing.
What is?
Don't worry about it. Okay. It's not a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So show organizers really need to be aware that women, especially, but not just women, are actually being targeted, and that they have to have security. And they have to start making
Q community as well.
They have to know who their exhibitors are. They have to know like who's registering for press. Like they have to be on top of things. Yeah. And know that there are some people out there who are doing the harassing, who are coming to their shows and making things uncomfortable for their guests.
Like go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and luckily we GeekChic is working with people right now, like showrunners.
That's awesome.
That we're very much on top of it. It's
I was gonna say like I know a lot of not a lot, but actually more than a handful. So I'm gonna call that a lot. There have been photographers, and I say that with quotes because these are not legitimate photographers. They are people who come to these cons and they take inappropriate photos or ask women or men to take inappropriate photos that they feel uncomfortable that the cosplayer feels uncomfortable taking, but sometimes feels uncomfortable saying like standing up for themselves, or like these photographers saying, oh, I have a studio, come back to my studio, come back to my studio.
We used to have that problem running our Girl Scout conventions, because it's
which is
girls.
crazy, that's Girl Scouts!
Well, you got your pedophiles, and then it's photographers, and we used to actually have police detectives on the upper levels specifically watching for photographers doing that very thing, which is taking inappropriate photos from inappropriate angles or being super creepy.
Yeah, and I will say that I've seen people come together to say that person and listen to the
we
listen to the attendees where people come together and be like, that person is harassing and they need to leave.
Yeah, and kind of go back to kind of connecting that with the cosplay's consent, as I think you started to say, is that it's not just touching. It's picture taking inappropriately. There was one gentleman that we had to have escorted out of a con, and he was no longer allowed to get a press pass at any con we worked at because he would literally put his camera under skirts. And also like and just verbally being salacious or standing too like
Just because you think you're funny doesn't mean you're funny.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
basically-
And it actually goes to other cosplayers as well, because there are.
True.
I have seen, and we have had problems with other people dressed up, and I'll just use the example of usually that we've had a lot of people that are dressed up as Deadpool because they think it's funny to be kind of gross, salacious, or kind of just like a jerk in
They
general.
feel like because their head is covered, they can do whatever they want.
And especially like they think they're being the character of Deadpool.
I
and
literally
they
will turn around and run from them.
Yeah, and they do salacious and things that are not okay to not only other
very
cosplayers but to
juvenile, yes.
attendees. So it's just in general, cosplay is not consent.
So yeah, point is, the world is a nightmare, but be a decent human being, and we are gonna end with a nerd rave.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of Girl Scouts, not in a creepy way.
Not in a
Yes.
creepy way.
Bad segue.
All right, so what Beth is going to do is
I'm gonna post it, yeah.
she's going to post
Yes,
a picture
so excited.
of wines that you can pair with your Girl Scout
I
cookies.
found this on
As-
Facebook
if
this
you don't
morning and
know
sent
already-
it to them and was like, guys, this is everything.
Yeah, this is
If
it.
you don't know, it is cookie season.
There was a
Right
girl.
now.
There
It's
was a
only
girl in my
like 2
courtyard
months long.
selling cookies yesterday.
Yes.
I don't know where she came from. There are no children in my building, but there she was.
Doesn't
And I'm sure
matter.
making bank.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
by
She
the
asked
way,
me. She was like, "Oh, can you buy some?" I was like, "My husband just did, babe."
Like, yeah, got it.
Also, you can download a cookie app, the Girl Scout cookie app, and you can find where girls are selling in your area.
Yeah.
Make sure when you buy, you ask them what they're raising money for, so you can find out about all the fun things. Because I know a lot of people are super suspicious and like, I don't think the money goes. And it does.
It really
because
does.
we've worked at Girl Scouts and we've had layoffs due to poor cookie sales. So trust me when I say the money, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's super sad because
That's so
they
sad.
do a lot of good for girls. They strengthen, they empower, they make girls strong. So
Yep.
please support your Girl Scouts.
Yes. And thank you
Don't
all
know,
so
'cause
much
this
for
is
joining
gonna-
for
no,
another
that's not
Nerd Race.
gonna work.
Thank you, Bernadette, for
Thank you
joining
for having
us.
us.
Where can everybody find you on social media and whatnot?
Pretty
Yeah.
much, I think across every social media, I'm Ms. Bernadette B. That's MS Bernadette B. And then just my website is bernadettebatley.com.
I can't get it to go into the comments,
Yeah.
right? But I'm gonna put it on our page because everyone should see
Yes,
it.
and we're very excited. We're going to be working a lot with Bernadette this year, so keep an eye out for all the awesome Geek Chic events with this lovely lady as a host. And again, thank you guys so much. Comment below if we missed anything to rage about, and we'll comment back to you. Comment if you guys know what we should rage about next week. 'Cause,
Yes.
we got another one coming up.
Yep. So we'll see you then.
Yes. See you then. Have a great day.
Bye.
Where's the finish one on this? Oh, yeah, it's always tricks me.
Which that always